Anime is experiencing an unprecedented resurgence at the box office, with Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle smashing records by raking in an astounding $33 million during its opening day, which includes both Friday's showings and preview screenings across 3,315 locations. This remarkable feat not only marks the largest single-day gross for any anime film in history, leaving the former record of $10.9 million set by Dragon Ball Super Superhero in 2022 in the dust, but it also secures Infinity Castle as the biggest opening weekend ever for an anime title. The previous record was held by Pokémon, the first movie Mewtwo Strikes Back, which had a $31 million opening weekend since its release in 1999, although Mewtwo Strikes Back launched on a Wednesday, allowing it 2 extra days of box office earnings before the typical 3-day weekend period began. Infinity Castle is the first part of what is anticipated to be a trilogy intended to conclude this beloved series. The film is accessible to audiences in both subtitled and dubbed versions, which contributes to its significant box office take, especially with the added revenue from screenings in premium large-format theaters. Impressively, Demon Slayer managed to generate $6.4 million alone in IMAX theaters this past Friday. Positive reviews are pouring in, and early audiences are thrilled, with CinemaScore giving the film an impressive A grade, indicating strong audience approval. But this incredible domestic performance is just a snapshot of Infinity Castle's global success. The film has already amassed over $279 million worldwide, with more than $200 million earned in its home country of Japan. It has impressively maintained its position as the top film in Japan 8 weeks post-launch, and has solidified its standing as the third highest-grossing movie in the country's cinematic history. Sony's anime distribution arm, Crunchyroll, is pushing the boundaries for anime in North America. Back in 2021, they revived the theatrical market significantly with the release of Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Mugen Train, which opened to $20 million, a milestone in a post-COVID world that Infinity Castle has the potential to triple. Meanwhile, following last weekend's surprising success of The Conjuring: Last Rites, which soared to an impressive $84 million debut, the September box office has greatly exceeded the industry's forecasts. Not only is Infinity Castle a triumph for the weekend, but several other new wide releases are also making their debut in theaters. Among them is Downton Abbey: The Grand Finale, a film that aims to continue the legacy of a cherished television series brought to audiences by Universal's specialty label Focus Features. Additionally, Lionsgate is unveiling the darker adaptation of Stephen King's The Long Walk, while Bleecker Street premieres the comedic sequel Spinal Tap 2: The End Continues. In terms of box office standings, Downton Abbey: The Grand Finale is projected to take the 3rd position, having garnered $8.8 million from 3,694 venues during Friday and preview screenings. Its anticipated opening weekend is estimated at around $19.5 million, which marks an improvement from the earlier installment, Downton Abbey: A New Era, that had started off with $16 million in May 2022. Reviews for the grand finale have been favorable, leading to a solid A grade on CinemaScore, resonating well with fans of the series. In contrast, Lionsgate's The Long Walk appears to be positioned for a 4th-place debut, having taken in about $4.76 million across Friday and preview screenings, spanning 2,845 locations. Projections suggest it could open with earnings exceeding $11 million for this existential thriller, which comes from Francis Lawrence, known for his work on the Hunger Games franchise. While it may not be a sensation, it still represents a significant start against a modest production budget of $20 million, and critical responses have leaned toward the positive, though audience reactions have been more mixed, reflected in a B grade on CinemaScore. Falling into 2nd place again, The Conjuring: Last Rites earned $8.4 million on Friday, a 67% drop compared to its prior week's daily total. This installment, touted to be the final chapter featuring Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, has already surpassed $113 million in North America, claiming its spot as the 14th highest-grossing release of the year within just 8 days of its theatrical run. Disney's re-release of the timeless classic, Toy Story, brought in $1.1 million across 2,375 theaters. This special 30th anniversary reissue of Pixar's inaugural feature film is set to round out the top 5 films for the weekend. Further down the list, Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, amassed around $820,000 during the Friday and preview screenings across 1,919 locations. It might struggle to secure a spot in the top 10. This Bleecker Street distributed sequel, reconnecting director Rob Reiner with actors Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer, attempts to humorously depict the current climate of rock band farewell tours. Reviews leaned slightly positive, with the core audience enjoying it thoroughly, reflected by an A- grade on CinemaScore.